Hi, thank you guys for joining us here at the USA Roundup. Today is going to be our very first show. First of all, we're going to be going ahead and talking about O'Shaquie Foster versus Ray Vargas that occurred this past Saturday in SA. We were there ringside. What do you think about that fight, Mirna?
I think it went down exactly as we predicted. I had originally picked Foster by unanimous decision, and that it ended up playing out like that.
Exactly.
He had such a great performance, starting from round one all the way to the last round. Not only was he able to deliver throughout the whole fight, he stuck through his plan. They won all the championship rounds, which allowed him to not even leave it, not necessarily in the judges' hands, but there was no way that he was not going to win.
He dominated that fight. Vargas couldn't catch him. He couldn't catch up to him. I mean, Foster did an amazing job. He cut off the ring. I mean, he did everything he had to do. And I'm glad they gave him a unanimous decision. They couldn't, screw him over
or
on
like
fight.
a split. They could have done a split or a majority.
Yeah.
I
mean, he took it to Vargas, and he deserved that WBC belt. And I'm excited for what he has stored in the future. I want him to start unifying these belts. There's a lot of great fighters at 130, but I think he's a top competitor at 130. And I think
agree.
He has a great trainer in Bobby Benton in his corner, the stable in their corner with him and Regis. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Houston, Texas, period.
Exactly.
There's so much great sparring that you can get there in every weight class, and I think that Texas runs boxing.
Honestly, we have a lot of champions. What, 4 of the 5 WBC champions are from Texas right now.
It is pretty crazy. The 130 right now, it's looking extremely good. We also have Hector Garcia, that's another champion. I personally think Joe Cordina is also going to have a great performance. He's going to be fighting soon. I'm excited to see him back in the ring. It was very odd how they stripped him from his belt. From one day to another when he had a true injury. So to me that was just very odd. I'm glad that he's getting a shot again at the belt, right?
I mean, they needed to.
Yes, and I hope that he comes to America, or that maybe someone like Foster is willing to travel to the UK and have that big fight. I know Foster has already traveled to other countries to fight. And then, of course, you also have the big Mexican power down in the 130, which is Navarrete, who just moved up. He relinquished his 126 belt, and you have Oscar Valdez.
Yeah, I would love to see him versus Valdez. That would be a great fight. And I think if the winner would like to fight Foster, I think Foster dominates both those guys.
I agree.
Navarrete is a power puncher, but he never shows up to the gym. It looks like he's never ready. He's eating cheeseburgers and tortillas over there.
Yeah, which I don't blame him. I mean, I love eating cheeseburgers, but
when I'm fighting for world titles, I want to look the best.
Not to mention, Foster has so much athleticism too that if you have to at least be able to compete with that when you're facing an opponent like that.
Yeah.
I was hoping that this last fight, Navarrete was gonna get up for it.
Yeah.
His punching power just saved him at the end of the fight.
Like
always, he had a good opponent in Liam Wilson.
And he does have a tough chin. I'm not going to say he doesn't have a tough chin. So he has a tough chin, he has power. But
I think Foster hits hard, too.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to be careful with that.
He's not going to be able to touch Foster.
Also, Cordina recently knocked out that guy, I think the Japanese, who was trained in Mexico.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of fights to be made there. Of course, this weekend we also have some more action going on. 4 Golden Boy promotions in California. We have Luis Nery, who's going to be fighting Azat Hovhannisyan. Kind of weird last name. There's a lot of... I'm not really sure where he's from, but they're going to be fighting for the WBC Junior featherweight title eliminator.
Yeah,
so how do you see that one going?
I have Nery winning this one. I think I have him winning it by stoppage or TKO by the 7th, 8th round. I mean, he does have that power. I mean, he brought in his last fight. He dropped his opponent in the first round. It did go the distance, but he was fighting an amazing opponent, and he did drop him. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring, what he brings to this fight. I do see it not going the distance. I do have him knocking him out.
I think closer to after the 8th round, like the later rounds. I'm not really sure what the odds are for the over and under, but I would pick Nery by stoppage. I think they're trying to get him back to well, this is an eliminator. So
Yeah.
after this, they are going to get a shot at a belt up there.
Yeah.
And then another person that's also going to be fighting on that card is going to be Sugar Shane Mosley Jr.
Yeah.
He recently fought Gabriel Rosado. We were actually there ringside also in San Antonio. He fought on the undercard of Ryan Garcia versus Emmanuel Taego. Who fought there? So
and he did win that fight. So I'm excited to see him in this next fight. His opponent is coming off back-to-back losses. So I do see Shane Mosley Jr. winning this fight. Unanimous decision.
I think I would probably also lean towards the unanimous decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if he also stops it.
Yeah.
Just because I think he's trying to put out a statement out there.
Yeah, I don't know if he has that kind of power though. I think he's more of like a finesse. He's lanky.
Yeah.
He's tall, skinny. I don't think he's gonna be trying to get him out. He might, but I don't think so.
I see. And some other latest news that came out yesterday or the day before, as we know, Jake Paul will be fighting Tommy Fury, the younger stepbrother of the Tyson Fury.
And the winner will be
ranked by the WBC.
And I'm excited. I do have.
What are your thoughts on that?
I love it. I love Jake Paul. I love what he's doing in the sport of boxing. What he's done to the women's sport of boxing already. He's taking boxing to another level. He's making boxers actually be able to make money. You know what I mean? He's putting money in boxers' hands.
Correct.
Where they never had before.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's great for the sport of boxing. I love what he's doing for the sport. And I'm excited to see him as an actual boxer because I think he has really knockout power. So, like, yeah, he might not be the best boxer, but he does have knockout power, so you better watch out. And I do see him knocking out Tommy Fury in this fight.
I think that we cannot be mad at Jake Paul for trying to do the best he can.
Yeah.
Isn't that the purpose to get ranked? So why are all these other people fighting?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people are upset maybe that he's doing it in a stage, in such a big stage.
He's fighting an undefeated fighter. That his brother is...
Well, can I get my point across?
Yeah,
I mean, you know, like,
yes,
so at the end of the day, sorry that he's fighting his 5th fight on a pay-per-view event in Dubai surrounded by millionaires.
Yeah.
People seem to be worried about that or upset about that when in reality, that's just at the level that he is.
Yeah.
And people should be thankful that he's bringing the sport of boxing along with him and all of his young fans. Not to mention, look at what he recently did for Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. That was the biggest women's card or fight that has ever been held. It won Fight of the Year in many magazines and reputable organizations. So why are we not thankful that happened?
And we're getting a rematch, and I really would love to be at the rematch. And I can't imagine what.
Correct.
This rematch is going to be fireworks again. Like, I can't wait for it. I love what Jake Paul is doing to the sport. I can't wait for his fight against Tommy Fury. But who do you really have in that fight?
It's not even a real question. Tommy's gonna get stopped in the early 4 rounds.
I like it.
During that fight. I mean, they've been joked about it. Like, Tommy's not gonna be allowed back in England after this fight. Like, it's been a joke. Yeah. And I think he had to take it because of it was already getting too crazy with the running their mouths, both of them. Yeah. But I also think, as we know, Tommy is a new father.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be a huge payday for Tommy. Maybe not necessarily for Jake. Jake has been making good money all this time.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, I would not be surprised. This is a big statement. If I see a fight between Canelo and Jake Paul at the end of next year or in the beginning of next year, not even really as an exhibition, but where Canelo can say he has now fought a cruiserweight. Mm-hmm. And it will go down on his list of accomplishments that he beat a cruiserweight. Yeah. So there's a reason why this ranking and all this stuff is happening. I think that big mega fight is going to happen.
Yeah, 100% I agree.
And one big mega fight that we also have going on this weekend is the Wood versus Lara fight happening in the UK. Yep. It's a very, very close fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 50-50 at this point. I mean, you have Lara, the power puncher, and you got Wood that's going to be able to outbox him. And I think if Wood doesn't get caught, I think he's going to be able to dance around, be able to land a lot of punches, and I think he's going to be able to keep Lara off of him. Lara can get lucky and land a shot. I don't think that's going to happen. I do see a split decision going in Wood's favor.
Yes, I do think it's going to end up being possibly a split just because...
But it's going to be a tough fight. There's going to be close rounds.
We are no way... Yeah, there's going to be tough rounds where... We probably gonna end up getting a rematch from this, depending. Like obviously, I think people are pretty excited for it. I think a lot of people are gonna tune in.
Lara's coming off 2 knockouts. He's knocking people out himself. He's ready.
I do think his Josh Warrington fight was a good test. However, I think this is a way harder test for him.
Yeah.
I think that
he's fighting a way better
Josh Warrington was towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
He was a veteran, and now Wood is a veteran. But at the same time, he's still young.
Yeah.
Where like you can't necessarily, he's not ready to ride off into the sunset, and he's here to stay, and he wants to be on top.
I feel Leigh Wood's bigger than Josh Warrington, like physically. I think he's a little bit
so
longer,
too.
taller,
he looks
lankier.
more like craft, like the more crafty
he's in and out.
boxer.
He can get in and out. He's very quick.
He's gonna have the crowd on his side. Do not forget that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this fight, but I do give him the edge. I do think they will probably score a split. I don't think it would be a unanimous, but I do think he will get the fight.
Well, that's all we have. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and make sure to tune in next week for our episode and watch all the fights happening this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.